Cleaning messy data in Excel files for me was always a manual process that used to take a long time. It's only after I started using KNIME that I realized how easy and how reliable it is to clean the messy data that was there in the Excel files that my colleagues used to send me. I made this video specifically for you so you can see and build your first KNIME workflow that you can then use to clean up the messy data that you receive in Excel files and realize how much more easier life can get with KNIME Analytics platform. Let's go to my screen and I'll show you how I clean 3 messy problems in an Excel file using KNIME and get a cleaned Excel file as an output. Here is a typical sales report. This report has quite a few problems. Let's look at these problems. Dates are in different formats. For example, these two. The product codes are supposed to be 6 digits, and in some cases they start with a 0. But Excel removes the leading 0, leaving us with a 5-digit product code instead of 6. The product names are messy. They are inconsistent and they have leading and trailing spaces, differences in cases, and so on and so forth. These inconsistencies break everything from sorting to pivot tables to VLOOKUP. So to summarize, this data file has inconsistent date formats with missing dates, missing leading zeros in product code, inconsistent case and empty spaces in product name. If I was working in Excel only, every time I receive this report, I would have spent at least 30 minutes to an hour fixing the issues and cleaning up the file manually. I'll show you how you can automate the cleaning of this file using KNIME. And every time you get a new file, it'll take you 30 seconds to perform these cleanups instead of 30 minutes to an hour. Let us begin. I will start by bringing the Excel file into KNIME. Once I execute this node, our data is now within KNIME. First step, let's address the dates. We'll do that using an expression node. Let's first identify all the different date formats that exist in the date column. We will use a function called parseDate. By default, the parseDate recognizes the date format as shown here: year followed by month followed by date separated by hyphens. Let me first parse the date in the default format and add it to a new column called D1. Let's parse dates formatted like this: month, date and year separated by slash. We'll put that into a column called D2. Next, let's look at what other formats exist in the date column. Okay, I see the date formatted in this way. So let's capture this format of dates. This I will put in a column called D3. Going back to the Excel, let's look for what other date formats exist. So we have another date formatted in this way. We have the date followed by month, name and the year. Let's put that in a column called D4. And then we have dates missing with NA or TBD in its place. So let's handle that next. So here I'm going to use an if condition. If date equals NA, let's replace that with the last day of the quarter. And let's next capture the condition of TBD. Let's put this one in a new column called D5. This expression is very similar to the Excel's if function. We are first checking if the date column is the value NA. If it is, we are replacing that value with the last day of the quarter. Next, if that is not NA, We are then checking if the date value is TBD. If that is TBD, we are replacing that again with the last date of the quarter, and if it doesn't match either of these cases, we are replacing the value with missing. Let me apply and execute. Looks like I made a mistake. Let me go back and fix it. So this should be excellent. So we have columns D1 to D5 which capture the date in all the various formats that exist in the date column, including TBD and NA. Excellent. Finally, let's bring all of these dates into a single column using a column aggregator node. So in this case, we want these 5 columns. For aggregation, we'll choose the first option and unselect missing cells. We'll also select the option of remove aggregation columns. So when we run this, we are left with a column called first, which is formatted as a date, and it has all the rows in a consistent format. Great. Let's now address the other 2 issues. So we fixed the issue with the inconsistent date formats and missing dates. Let's now fix the missing leading zeros in product code and the inconsistent formatting of product names. We'll again use an expression node. To fix the issue with the product code, there is a very helpful function called pad start, which will take the product code as the input, and the next argument is the length that we want, and finally the character that we want to be used for padding, and we will replace the product code column with the output of this expression. Next, we address the issue with the product name. Let's start with a strip function that removes the leading and trailing zeros, and let's use a capitalize function to ensure that all the product names are consistent in case, and we'll again replace the product name column. This fixes the issue with our product code and product name column. Let's clean up the output and export the results. We are using a table manipulator to clean up the output. We get rid of the date column. We move the column called first to the top and rename it to date. This is our cleaned output file, which we can now export to an Excel file. This is your very first workflow. This workflow will take care of fixing and cleaning up your Excel file, so you can then use it for further operations such as sorting, pivot tables, and VLOOKUPs. I hope that you found that helpful. If you have questions about how you can use KNIME for your specific data cleaning needs, or if you have questions on how to build your first KNIME workflow, reach out to me and I'll be happy to chat with you and share my knowledge about using KNIME Analytics platform for cleaning messy data in Excel.